As we prepare to celebrate our 53rd year as an independent nation, it is important that we not forget those who fought for us to become a free nation. We will now take a look back at Guyana's struggle for independence and what it meant for Guyanese when we finally achieved it.
Are you ready to embark on a truly epic adventure to an undiscovered corner of South America, where some of the most spectacular natural attractions are unveiled within a beautifully diverse landscape? From the wetlands and savannas to the ancient mountains, magnificent waterways and lush enriching rainforest would provide a vast playground for some of the most exotic and breathtaking creatures on the planet, including many of the world's giant species. This untouched land of mystery and wonder serves up an exclusive experience for travelers. So are you ready for a new, awe-inspiring adventure? Welcome back to nature. Welcome to Guyana.
Independence Day celebrates the moment in history when, after 350 years of Dutch and British colonization, our peoples abolished foreign rule. We established a free state with the hope of ensuring equality and eradicating poverty. It was the day on which we adopted our own constitution and erected institutions to govern ourselves and to guarantee our freedom.
Guyana's struggle for independence was a long and brutal one, deliberately delayed by the British and the Western powers. The ruling party, led by Dr. Cheddi Jagan and Forbes Burnham, was ousted from power by the British, who fell subject to pressures from the Washington administration. It was during this time that the leaders of the party split, Dr. Jagan staying with the People's Progressive Party, PPP, and Burnham creating the People's National Congress. The two parties agreed that whomever won the 1961 general elections would be the ruling party to usher in independence. However, when the PPP won, the PNC went back on their word and called for fresh elections to be held before independence. This led to rising tension in the colony as supporters of the parties clashed and violence ensued. The British used this confusion as a means to delay the Constitutional Conference needed to set a date for independence, citing that the colony was too unstable for self-governance. This came to rest in 1965 when a coalition between the PNC and a smaller opposition party came together and beat the PPP out of office. There was a period of peace under this new rule, which saw the conference being held in November and a date for independence set to May 26. Thursday, May 26, 1966, was a day so significant and so revered that even the basic political infighting experienced day-to-day amongst local politicians was lost. The two political stalwarts of the era, Dr. Cheddi Jagan and Forbes Burnham, embraced each other publicly, showing the unity that Guyana aims to achieve to this very day.
I was in Berbice, in my home village, Uim, and I was glued to the radio. I recall the sound of jubilation, the sound of elation. I also remember, apart from the hoisting of the flag at the National Park, a significant event that was very emotional for me, and I believe for most Guyanese, was when Forbes Burnham, the then Prime Minister, and Cheddi Jagan, they embraced. And I believe that the embrace between those two nationalist leaders had become symbolic of the unity we wanted to see in Guyana among our people.
This act and show of unity remained within the hearts of all Guyanese who were able to see it. For them, it represented a new beginning. Guyana was now free and able to forge ahead on its own accord. Then Premier Forbes Burnham called on the nation to use the opportunity not to hate our old colonial masters, but to work with them towards development. And I quote, "Today is historic. primarily because we are indulging in an exercise which is the first of its kind by the Parliament of Guyana. After 50-odd years of British rule, and in some cases misrule, we are now independent. But we harbor no bitterness. It is difficult and impossible to change the facts of past history, and in the circumstances, though we welcome with enthusiasm our new status, we are prepared not to spend the time ahead of us abusing those who once dictated to us, but rather to seek means of cooperating with them to our mutual advantage, shall I say, self-interest. End of quote. The impact of late Presidents Forbes Burnham and Dr. Cheddi Jagan had on Guyana gaining its political independence cannot be forgotten. The efforts of Forbes Burnham and Dr. Cheddi Jagan, who are seen as national heroes, ended more than a century and a half of British colonial administrative rule. How, you might ask? Burnham and Dr. Jagan brought Guyanese of various ethnic groups and social statuses together to achieve a common goal. Their actions led to Guyana creating a new unique identity and placed in a position to make decisions on its own. Guyana now has its own national flag, anthem, pledge and motto, just to name a few. Vic Insinali, who was a young radio announcer at the time Guyana gained its independence, shares what the efforts of both Burnham and Jagan did for Guyana.
Because of the friction that there was at the time,
yes,
the fact that Jagan and Burnham embraced in public view, in it really, I mean, a very warm embrace that set the tone for that night. It still gives you goosebumps and things like that, you know, because, you know, it had that solemnity to it. And, you know, all the words, I can't even remember, you got to go back to that, said goodbye to a past where it was God save the gracious Queen, and we were now singing about our independent country, you know,
yes,
and all these patriotic songs of Guyana that suddenly came to the fore, that started a nation with the highest hopes.
After that historic feat, Guyana began on its trajectory of greatness. In achieving that, education was key. The country's premier tertiary institution, the University of Guyana, was handed over. The following year, 1967, the Critchlow Labour College, one of the leading training institutions, was established. 3 years after that, Guyana attained its republican status on February 23, 1970, which meant that Guyanese had broken the final yoke of domination from Britain. After that, there was no stopping the land of many waters. Guyana was instrumental in forming the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, in 1973, which now has 15 member states and created endless opportunities for its people. A few years later, Guyana coined its own constitution in 1980, the law of its land replacing that which was enacted in 1966 upon its independence by the British. Guyana the Free indeed. Guyana, famously known for its unique architectural designs that were handed down from the previous colonial masters, has in many ways undergone a transformation since the advent of independence. Today, Guyana is on a trajectory for greatness. While many buildings and structures maintain a semblance of our past, Guyanese can feel proud of the ongoing modernization of the country known as the Land of Many Waters.
I was born around that time. I am 52 plus, so that tells a story. I am of the opinion, or it's my view, that as Guyanese, we would have progressed in a wonderful way. We would have had our challenges, and people may say different things from time to time, but I am of the opinion that we would have progressed beautifully over the years.
For starters, overpasses, a known trademark of developed nations, have been constructed to facilitate the smoother flow of traffic on our east bank while promoting the safe commute of pedestrians in Eccles, Peters Hall, Providence, and Diamond. Over in our hinterland region, business persons, villagers, and travelers alike can be proud of improved road linkages that once catered for minuscule traffic. Now, a massive effort to reduce the disparity that exists between the coast and the hinterland has taken effect with the ongoing upgrade of the Linden to Lethem Road. At present, asphalt is being added to the surface to make the road resilient. Meanwhile, the Cheddi Jagan International Airport, formerly known as the Temeri International Airport, had initially undergone major upgrades in 1968. With the current CJIA expansion project nearing completion, some of the new features the airport now boasts of include a 7,488 feet long runway to accommodate large aircraft and a spanking new arrival terminal with modern bridges that lead directly to the aircraft, something synonymous with airports around the world. These changes will accommodate the growing air traffic to and from Guyana's 74-year-old airport. As Guyana continues to evolve post-independence, the business community's confidence remains resolute. Among many businesses too numerous to mention, Banks DIH Limited, a household Guyanese company, has catapulted into one that is recognized throughout the region and in many parts of the world. The new millennium has seen the rise of Giftland Mall, Movietongue, Ramada Princess Hotel, and the Marriott Hotel, just to name a few. In 2020, an influx of revenue from our liquid El Dorado will flow into Guyana's coffers. Already, the country has directly benefited from approximately $16 billion from the oil and gas sector. Hundreds of Guyanese businesses have registered to develop this new sector that is destined to make Guyana a formidable force in the oil and gas industry. As the golden arrowhead continues to be a symbol of hope, Guyana's ongoing transformation will forever be under the motto, one people, one nation, one destiny.
Happy independence to all Guyanese.